How long are we going?
Okay, I think we're good. Where's the 987, Jazz? Come on. We don't have that today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how's everybody doing today on this Friday afternoon? As some of you know, I'm Frank Dippold from the Velocity Money, and I have two of my good buddies here, Matt Weber and Dave Hansel from Alpha Funding. What's up, guys? How we doing?
Doing fantastic. Happy Feel Good Friday.
That's right. It's a summer day. Jasmine and the crew at my office, when we used to do a lot more loan volume than we're currently doing, I made, what did I call it? Something Fridays. But anyway, I used to let them off at 3 o'clock on Friday. Now, you know, we let the staff, it's a little smaller, whatever. And Jasmine's like, hey, can I still leave at 3 o'clock on Friday? I'm like, I guess you're grandfathered in, but hey, we're still here rocking and rolling. So I've known these guys for a couple of years. Matt and I actually grew up in the same hometown. I like to claim that his brother's best year was as a 14-year-old pitcher because I was coaching him and I had that kid ball and he was striking kids out. He was a stud. But I've known what Alpha Funding has done. We've done a bunch of business together over the years. And, you know, just for the audience that doesn't know me or doesn't know them, we're more of the traditional lender and these guys are more of the investor lender, you know, hard money, soft hard money. And I'm going to not only talk about or let them talk about what they do, but we're also going to talk about what they've been doing the last 6 to 12 months because they're on fire and they have really cool technology. So if you guys want to just give a snapshot of kind of what your organization is, because you'll do a better job of explaining it than I will.
Maybe I'll give the intro and let Matt kind of clean up since he's like the pinch hitter. He'll hit him out of the park. So Alpha was set up back in 2007, really as a vehicle or means to provide capital to other real estate investors. They're doing fix and flip, ground up construction, mixed use commercial, also some term loans, things of that nature. So our whole focus and our whole purpose is to be there to provide and be a capital partner to investors, help them open up their eyes to how they can do more with less on the capital side than they can maybe on a more traditional route. Since then, we've done north of $800 million in these short-term bridge loans. We've got an incredible team that's been with us for many years. Most of the folks have been here, you know, for over 5 years plus, and just proud of the relationships we built in the market. But Matt, you want to add on to some of that?
Yeah, I've had the absolute pleasure of working at Alpha for the last 7 years. When I was back in my Livingston days, you know, I graduated high school with a biology degree. I was a science major. I thought I wanted to get into medicine. I was a personal trainer. I met David, and my life has been changed for the absolute better. David, you know, he told me, come on board. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. Just be who you are, but I'm going to show you the ropes. And it's been an incredible 7 years. And just in the last couple of years, I've had the pleasure of being a partner. I'm so honored to be able to carry that torch because David and Mark have done some incredible things since we started back in 2007. And Michael and I now kind of handling more of the day-to-day. We really wanted to bring a modern approach to the private lending world. A lot of investors are looking for fast, easy, quick capital so they can take advantage of all the opportunities that are out there. Real estate right now is one of the, I mean, people talk about it all the time, but one of the most stable asset classes, one of the best investment vehicles you can to help prepare yourself for retirement, to set yourself up for generational wealth for you, for your family. And the fact that we're able to be a part of that process for so many investors, it's absolutely rewarding. It's one of my, you know, one of the best parts of my job is being able to help assist other investors. And coincidentally, like I get so much back in return. So like, I love working with investors and helping them grow and scale their business, but we get so much more out of it. And it's really, really fun. Obviously we work with the short-term, you know, fixer and flipper, people that are building new houses, but also we've been seeing a big influx of investors that are buying rental properties and trying to build portfolios and generational wealth. And we've seen a lot of that. And I think we were talking about soft hard money, that non-QM rental space right now, where instead of going the full conventional route for mortgages, there's this little pocket where we can do these private loans for investors and provide them a option to be able to get financing for these investment properties, get them in quickly, or get them out of a short-term hard money loan, and really help them move quickly. And that's where, no pun intended or pun intended, the velocity of money, being able to create that velocity of money and help them build wealth, which is really exciting.
Yeah, and there's an amazing synergy between our two organizations, and there always have been. I had Dave speak at one of my seminars on Freehold years ago because, when people think about investing in real estate, the first thing they think about is, I want to flip properties. And we know many of them have no idea what they're doing, right? And then some of them just sort of stumble along and then over time learn. And then obviously you guys help them with that, with the structure of the financing. I do too. And then, we have an affiliate relationship where once we educate them enough, we team up to you guys for that money. And it's interesting because, a lot of the people that invest in real estate, it's so funny because they all think that it's a better idea to, not show any income or whatever. And it's almost like a national programming. So a lot of people put themselves in the place where that's the only loan they can get. But the beauty of it is, if you have clients that, did a couple deals with you, and we teach them how to learn how to keep the property. Like, hey, if you're going to make 50 grand on a flip, you probably should sell it. But what happens if you're only going to make 8? Instead of panicking, let's do a reverse calculation on my yield formula and teach you how to keep that, because, flipping's their day job probably, but we want them to keep 3 to 4 properties for generational wealth. So there's such a synergy. The question always is, or maybe it's like, hey, where's the handoff for this client? Maybe most of the time you guys start with that client, right? And then at some point we have to do a takeout loan or a long-term loan if they want to keep it. Or if I have some first-time home buyers who are then interested in getting into the flipping world, I'm educating them and then giving them over to you guys, which is a perfect synergy.
I was going to say, I remember coming to that event and attending some others, and there's a lot of different programs out there. And I think what's really unique about what you did was, a lot of these other programs are about building, getting started, doing this, but you set up clear, defined goals of what they should be doing. Buy one house, a multifamily, live in it, then go to another one and another one, and you'll be able to hold them and then keep the mortgage rolling. So I think, it's such a simple concept, but it's not like, I would say brilliant that you thought of it, and to be able to share that info. I know it's something you've done, and I've met a lot of other folks that you've worked with that have acquired and built up their own portfolios. And it's really not that hard. It's just about spending the time to get educated, getting connected with the right people. Like, you're going to need a bridge lender on some short-term lending on some stuff. You're going to need the long-term lending on others. You're going to need your contractors if you're doing work, but you also, there's all these different pieces, and there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate. And I got to tell you, for anyone starting out, especially if you don't already own a home, this path is such a great way to take it. And then once you've established that, you can go on and do other things from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frank, what you were saying before, and what really spoke to me, is the interchangeable nature of what we do. I don't think of it as what you can offer and what we offer. It's a tool belt, and you have a bunch of tools in it. And the thing is, you have to use the right tool for the right job. And there's going to be times where you're going to pull out that tool that we have and pull out your tool. But the key is, it's understanding that, educating yourself and having that knowledge of when to use, how to use certain financial vehicles, knowing when to use certain team members. That's what, David and I and Frank, you do an amazing job too, is just your community of just building the right team around you. Because if you have the right team around you, and if you have the right tools and you know when to use them, I mean, the sky's the limit.
100%. It's like anything else, right? When you commit to something psychologically, it's like going to the gym. If you go through the motions, you're probably not going to get in shape. But if you commit to learning education, what's the process? What's your goal, right? So if we look at Americans' life cycle, I try to get the people early, right? 3, 2, 1 and done, single family fast track, 030 for heroes. If I can find a 27-year-old that wants to buy a couple properties, and live in them for a year and get $1 million in real estate for less than 40 grand, that's amazing. But a lot of times people don't wake up until they're 35 or 40. Maybe they have a kid or two, and they might have some equity in their house and some money in a 401k. And now they're like, hey, I want to start flipping properties. And so we have to educate their mindsets, because, the thing I say to them is equity is money buried in your backyard. We're not telling you to take money out of your primary residence and buy a Lamborghini. We're telling you that it's like playing Monopoly. What does our net worth look like? How do we get some money from somewhere, get our first deal? And you guys are very generous the way you structure the loans. So a lot of people think, oh, I got to come up with 30% down, 40% down. Obviously, each individual deal is different, but that's the key to this whole thing. It's all about the fundability, right? So when I teach my courses, and I moved to not only the mortgage, which I've always done and still do, but coaching people, because those are the people that are committed. People have to, Harvard's not free. And I can make an argument. I could teach them more in my real estate course than Harvard could teach an entire semester. I don't care who at Harvard gets offended by that, because mine's a foolproof strategy to become a real estate millionaire. And it's, like you said, Dave, not as hard as you think. And with you guys, I know you've spoken at events at Atlantic City with thousands of people. Everybody wants to flip properties. But so here's my question for you. What do you think the percentage of people like are 90% clueless when they start, 80%, and then you kind of bring them along so that they can learn?
Well, I think each person's unique and different. So we find folks that get involved from all different walks of life. I've had doctors that got out of medicine and got into this, and project managers from tech companies. I think project managers make a great transition because they're used to doing a fix and flip is about project management, organizing schedules, people, understanding stuff. So it depends on, there's some people that are realtors, some that are contractors. So we try to quickly assess, and our underwriters, hey, what experience do you have? And if you're missing some areas, we're going to try to help guide you to fill in the gap. So it's hard to zero in on specific, but there's definitely I'd say a low double-digit percentage of folks that really are very, very green. But we enjoy those relationships too. It takes a lot longer, but if we help guide them, they typically become a borrower for life, and that's something we're really proud of. We got so many high repeat customer base because of the way that I think because of our service and how we take care of our borrowers.
Yeah, yours is a little bit more residual in nature, right? Because like you said, as you treat them well and incubate them and help them be good at that and get better at that, they're going to come back for more over time. My problem is in New Jersey as a residential lender, some people stay in their house for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like I put myself out of business during COVID because I gave everybody 2 3/4 on a 30-year fix.
Yeah.
So I could never call those people again. And it's true that some of those people literally won't sell their house now because they're like, well, I know I got $500,000 in equity. Why would I sell it? Because I'm going to have to take a 6.5 rate. So
it's a real problem right now in our country, is that we're going to be dealing with this for a pretty good amount of time with the lack of inventory. And then you compound that with the golden handcuffs, which is what you were just saying, the super low, historic low interest rates that people have these mortgages locked in at. And now interest rates are now soaring over 7%. I saw that it's the highest since 2005 interest rates. But I think it's really important to understand that there's still opportunity. But you were talking about mindset, Frank. And I think if we could unlock that right now, where there might be somebody on here who doesn't understand, like some people can't see the forest through the trees. It takes them until they're in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s to look back and say, I wish I could go back 20 years and I wish I did it then. But the reason why most people don't is because when they're in the moment, when they're 18, 25, they're out of college, they're not thinking about the big picture. And I've been to your seminars. You've talked about some of the doom and gloom. The world is not very forgiving right now. Like if you get out of college, it's hard to get a job. The cost of living is very high. Credit card debt is very high. Student loans. If you have a 401k, it's not growing at the rate that you probably want it to grow at. And that's where I think real estate, when you open up that mindset, the abundance mindset, and you look at the opportunity that real estate can present, it's incredible. But you have to be able to see that opportunity.
And invaluable, which reminds me of one of my slides, which is one of my favorite slides. Guys, if we had $100,000 and we invest that with a financial planner and we make 5%, we're making $5,000 on that investment. But if we had $100,000, we can show them how to get $1 million or $1.5 million worth of real estate. So now, because it's a down payment that you're borrowing money from you guys, us, or a different bank. And now if real estate goes up 5%, it grows by 50 grand. Same 100,000 investment, but it's now based on the $1 million asset. The other thing I'm doing lately is role playing with the realtors so that the realtors understand that here's the question. Hey, I talked to a renter and the renter says, well, I'm going to rent because interest rates are high and values are high. Except, did you know that we have 2 slides that prove to people that it's actually a better time to buy now? And the other, because they might get a property 50 grand less, even though the rates are higher, the payments are within $50 of one another because they borrowed 50 grand less. But here's the crazy one. Here's what we say to renters right now. If I could show you a way to put 20,000 a year in your pocket by buying instead of renting, would you have a conversation with us? And here's the 3 components. No first-time home buyer understands tax deductibility. They get 4,000 to 6,000 back from the IRS if they do it right. They don't understand amortization. That's another 4,000 to 8,000 depending on the loan size. And even at 3% appreciation in real estate, a $400,000 loan, $400,000 house grows by 12,000. So when you start to show people the math on stuff like that, and what I want to do is I want to get people early enough over to you guys because, like you said, the power and leverage of real estate is invaluable. If I hadn't bought real estate in my life, I wouldn't have any money. I still feel like I don't have any money, but that's because I want to have real money. But at the end of the day, the synergy is so cool. Here, I want to play something out. Ready for this? Guys, stay with me. So imagine this. This is one of my slides, and this intertwines our 2 companies beautifully together. You find a really good deal on a property for some reason. It's your grandmother, it's your friend, whatever. But it's a $250,000 house, but it needs work, right? You don't have the money. Maybe you have 15% or 20% to put down, but you don't have the 50 or 70 grand work to do. So now, say you put 20% down on a scenario, they go get money from you guys. You guys also give them the construction money, right? So they're going to give you the asset money, 20% down, then they're going to give you the money to do the work. And they're going to make sure that it's structured properly so that the value when it's done is strong. Then, literally after 90 days, you guys or us, because we both do DSCR loans, we can give them 80% cash out, right, on the new value. So the new value, if it's 50, 60, 100 grand more, they can pretty much give you guys all your money back, give themselves their 20% back. Now they own a piece of real estate for $0. And then after 6 months in that loan, if we help them do the tax returns the right way, I'll give them a Fannie Freddie conventional loan and put them a 30-year fixed investment property. And then they repeat and rinse, and they're buying real estate for $0 by using both of our companies.
And that is, it's just
one of the things that I say frequently is that the biggest obstacle to investors is the way that they think about money. And money is just another piece of the puzzle when you're doing a deal, right? If you're doing a rehab, you may realize in your inspections you need to do a new roof. Well, that's a pretty easy problem to solve. You call up a couple roofers, you get some estimates, and you plug that in. Now you say, okay, if I have to put a new roof in and it's going to cost me 15,000, my realtor says it's only going to get me 5,000 back. Okay, that's fine, not great, but you look at what does the bottom line numbers look like by adding that in. Money is no different, but for some reason people think about it very differently. And when you change that mindset that it's just a part of the transaction, and you put it as a line item, it'll kind of change the way you look at it. And I've seen, and one of the most rewarding things about being in this business is, and Matt can speak to it as well. Like, I've been in events going back to '07, and I've met a lot of young people that didn't have two pennies to scrape together or barely, and now run very successful seven-figure real estate investment companies. And I like to think that we were a big part of that, because without our ability to provide capital, but we are just one little cog in the big machine. And so I really encourage people to have conversations. Like, you should call Frank up and talk to him before you're going to do something, and get to understand what options are out there. And we encourage our borrowers to do the same thing, but
Yeah.
changing that mindset will open up new doors for you,
100%. 100%. So, all right. So let's talk briefly about a couple of cool things that you guys have going on. Matt, I'm ready to do that Zoom with you and take a look at the technology and what you guys built at Alpha. Why don't we speak about that for a second? Because I know it's really cool technology.
Yeah. So we can also help people that are not directly borrowers, investors that are working with us. We can also help people that are involved in the world of real estate. So if you're a realtor, if you're a contractor, if you're an influencer, and you know other people that are looking to do what we're talking about, we have an incredible platform for you to connect people to us. And we have the technology built so you can basically, we coined the phrase, we do the work, you get paid. It's almost like a valet service. We'll take care of everything. You bring the keys, which is, the opportunity to us. We close it, and then you can manage all of your activity through a portal that we just built. We have a web developer he's outstanding. We've been working with him for the last 5 years. He helped us rebuild our website. We relaunched, we rebranded our company. He helped us out with the graphic design, but he also built our portal, our broker portal, from scratch. So if you're a referral partner, you're interested in sending business to us, Frank is obviously, you're a part of our network as well. We have a partnership with you. We have built this technology to make it simple and easy for you to make more money. If you're a realtor and you're having trouble right now because there's not as much I'm a baseball player. Frank, you're a baseball player. There aren't as many at bats. So if you can't swing the bat, then how are you supposed to score? Well, you can help other people score, and then you can also get residual money from that, and we can help you. So if you know other investors, we can get you set up on our platform. We do a simple onboarding call. We find out what your needs are, what maybe people that you are around in your sphere, what their needs are. And if it makes sense, maybe we help you out with a landing page that connects to your website. Maybe we just get you access to our portal when you can enter information. When you work with people, you can just enter in the application and you can manage your profile as if you were almost an extension of us. What's really great about it is it has a feature in there where you can chat with our underwriting team directly. So technology nowadays, I think live chat is an incredible feature that's being used all over the place. If you go and you want to buy a candle and you go online and you go on a website and you can't speak to somebody on the phone because you know how hard it is to get somebody on the phone, 1-800, blah, 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 and you just were waiting and waiting to get a hold of somebody. Well, now you can just talk to somebody right on the live chat and they respond to you quickly. We have that feature for our underwriting team where they will speak with you basically from any business hour, from 9 a.m. in the morning till 5, 6 o'clock at night. You can communicate with the underwriting team if you're a referral partner, if you're a broker. We have quotes that are built into it. We have applications that are built into it. You can also have other future investors get pre-approved, or if they don't have a deal in hand, they can get pre-approved. And you can build this network of people and you can manage all of it through the portal. So I'm looking forward to having you set up, Frank, and we're going to get you your landing page. And, it just makes it so simple so that now, like once we have your landing page, if somebody wants to get a loan through Alpha, we just send them to the Velocity of Money landing page. You just send them the link. All they do is fill it out. You get a notification. We get a notification. We go to work. And once the loan closes, we get you paid, and then they get their loan.
Yeah. It's amazing because in our universe, right? Like we're creating the coaching program is going really well. I have a lot of people I'm mentoring, a lot of people that are doing coaching. We have our first time homebuyer products in the mortgage world that we help. I'm now making sure that in my coaching, there's a couple of modules on the fix and flip because I kind of always ignored that. I was always like, all right, you guys take them, right? I'm a long-term buy and hold guy. And the reality is that means that my brain wasn't working properly over the last 5 years because they want to learn about real estate. I have to teach them about all of the real estate. You guys have always been a partner of mine that I trusted. So now I'm opening up to, yes, if that's what you want to do, we're going to teach you. We're going to get you over to the funding source, do your first deal, make money, keep it moving. And at some point, we want you to keep a couple, but that's how you keep it moving. So, there's a lot of hard money people. We all know them that, it's a guy or a girl that did really well and they might have some capital and they're doing like little side deals in Madison, New Jersey, and they got their local attorney and it's their own money, right? And that works fine when you have relationships, but guys, these guys are a real organization, right? With real underwriters, real guidelines, real structure, real trust. Because you can't always trust everybody that's lending money on the street, especially in the Northeast. And so this is a real institution that can lend money to you. And as Dave said, train you, bring you along, and then become part of the family because then everybody's winning. You're doing more deals, they're doing more deals, and everybody's moving along. So, of course, I highly recommend them, but it's more than that. It's knowing that there's a trusted resource. We always all need funding sources, right? And every good realtor needs to have, like, the Andy Elliott guy that's training me is like, well, did you go on the web and say, hey, every realtor in America, I'm the number one lender. Do you want me in your back pocket? Same thing. Do you guys want the number one hard money source? And if they don't know us, then they won't call us.
I always I like to make analogies. Sometimes they don't really make sense, but I think this one does. If you have some medical issue and you have the option to go to the top doctor in that field or someone else and they cost the same, maybe they're a little cheaper, maybe a little more expensive, but the costs are going to be similar. You're going to want to go to the best doctor out there that knows how to deal with emergencies that may come up or small aberrations in your medical condition that makes them pivot. And not to overcomplicate it, but having done thousands of deals and having also helped a lot of people walk away from bad deals, which we spend a lot of time talking to borrowers about, avoiding a bad deal. Because selfishly, if you lose money and you go out of the business, well, you won't be coming back to borrow. So I'd rather say, hey, look, these margins are really tight. If you have a little bit of an overrun in construction or you don't sell at your list price or it goes longer than 10 months, you're going to be looking at being upside down. And a lot of times, especially when someone's new, they're very excited about their deal. And like when you've been through almost everything, you can share that knowledge with them. And we take a lot of pride in that, in making sure that we share that type of information with our borrowers.
Yeah. And Frank, you were talking about somebody who does well is a private lender. It's basically up to them and their discretion if they want to lend you the money. It may not be always available. It may be limited. You get that personal touch, but there's also trade-offs. The one thing that I think that really sets us apart is that we have that big, robust reach where we can lend now as we've grown and as we've expanded. We're in 45 out of the 50 states. We have programs that go from 1 year all the way up to 30 year, where we're just looking at the rents, covering what the payment would be, our DSCR loan program. The fact that I think it's so important, the personal touch. You want to be able to work with a group that's established, that has a lot of options, but at the same time, you want to work with somebody who you like and you trust. Like if you have that local place that you like to go to, that you go out to eat, once a month or maybe every other week, because the people there, there's a lot of other places out there. So just like there's a lot of other ways that you can get your deal funded, I think a lot of people find comfort in the fact that we're personable. You can call me, you can call Dave. We love doing what we do. So if you don't know that, we're on this call. It's Friday. We love doing this. You know, we're on calls all day talking to other investors about real estate, but we also do have the ability. So if you want to lend and you want to, like Frank, you're in Florida, right? You recently relocated from New Jersey to Florida. We can work with you in other states. We can work with you for other investment strategies. So I think that's very powerful. The fact that we're a large group, but at the same time, you're going to get that personal touch with us.
Yeah, perfect. All right, we're running out of time, but one last thing I want to cover. So, Dave, maybe you could wet people's whistle with another exciting web platform that I've already built my site with, and really, really exciting. Because let me just preface it by saying, you know, I would do these seminars, and we've had thousands of people in the room, and they're like, awesome, I love your formulas. Do you have access to any inventory? And I'm like, no, I don't have access to inventory. I'm not a wholesaler. I don't go to sheriff sales. You know, I do loans. But now I think we do.
Yeah. So really, really exciting. I mean, the one thing that all of us at Alpha are doing on a daily basis is thinking about how to be better, more efficient. What can we bring to the community? And over the years, that's presented itself in a lot of different ways. We've been very forward thinking on technology, which kind of transitions into what you're talking about. And I've been involved with a bunch of our strategic partnerships. One that we recently launched. A lot of people in the community probably know Pace Morby. For those that don't, he's probably the most or the hottest and most influential real estate influencer currently, or up in the top three. So we formed a program based on the technology we built. But through that, one of the other relationships was a platform called Property Source, which is about to go live. And Alpha is actually going to be the default lender on this platform, but this is going to revolutionize real estate in a way that nobody has seen. It really is basically creating an off-market MLS system that has a very unique way of bringing tens of thousands of buyers and sellers, plus exclusive inventory that's being pulled from Hubzu, from Equator, which are bank-owned properties. We're stripping the multiple listing system. We're creating a massive marketplace to allow people to come together and find deals and buy them. The platform is from A to Z. Literally, you find a deal, can purchase it right on the platform, fully integrated with all the title. You can, like Amazon, when you're checking out, you can buy your insurances if you need lending. It's all there for you. And the other part that's really cool for a lot of wholesalers is we have 14 of the largest hedge funds that do iBuying programs on there. And whenever you list the property, it'll get scanned by them and they'll make offers if it meets your criteria. This is something we have a patent pending on, and it's really, really amazing. So you would get the buy boxes for the hedge funds. You can actually go out shopping for them if you know what deals. So we see this growing over time, and we'll be promoting some of that soon as we're coming out of beta testing. And it's going to be huge. And I'm proud that Alpha is going to be there to continue doing what we've done well and be a great resource to the community. But I don't know if you have any additional thoughts on the platform that you want to share. And I know you have you're opening up a whole entire marketplace yourself, and will be able to invite all of your people to work off of it.
Well, yeah, I'm so fired up because you guys are allowing me to have. We already named it, Jasmine and I, with the ladies on staff, VOMproperties.com. So we're going to white label that through the Velocity Money community, and all of my community is going to be able to go to this website that you guys have created with your partners and find these properties. So I'm beyond excited because now we're getting people early. I've partnered up with a marketing company who's blasting my stuff nationally. We're building a huge community. And now after we teach, train, coach the community, obviously I have the traditional lending. You guys have the hard money lending, and now all of us have these properties to offer people. Now it becomes a one-stop shop environment where we really can change lives, because it's one thing for me to teach the formula, right, on how to buy real estate. But if they don't have real estate to buy, or they don't know where to find it, or if they go to a traditional realtor and the MLS properties don't make any sense because the numbers don't jive, well, now they have access to all these other properties. So I was beyond blown away and excited when I saw the demo,
Yeah,
and fired up to be involved in
it's
it.
incredible what this. I mean, it's long overdue, and we see this as becoming the go-to place that everyone's gonna, visit to be able to get resources and buy and sell properties.
Amen. So we're out of time. Jasmine, do we have their contact information on here? We need to do that. So why don't you give us an office line, Matt, where people can contact you guys, or it could be through my URL too, either way, but Alpha Funding, they can call you guys.
Yeah. So our direct line is 908-900-4894. 908-400. Yeah, did I say 900? 900, not 400. 908-900-4894. Our website is www.alphafunding.com. Very simple, just our name.com. And if you ever want to email us, info@alphafunding.com. We have a amazing team. We'll help you. If it's a simple question, don't feel bashful. Give us a call. We love working with new investors, experienced investors. If you feel like maybe you've been working with another group and it's time for a change and you want some better service, give us a call.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I know it's getting late on a Friday. Plethora of information and knowledge, and I look forward to rocking and roll together.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Have a great Friday, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.